Ladies, are you trying to save your way to wealth by budgeting? How many times have you tried to budget only to find out that you're still not getting the wealth results that you want? Mm, I raise my hand because I've been there too. And so, what if I told you that there's another piece to the puzzle that you've been missing that is key to building wealth? Okay. And so, in tonight's live, I'm going to break down the difference between budgeting and allocation, and reveal which one is the secret sauce to growing wealth long term. Okay. And so, real quick, if you are new to me or to the channel, my name is Katrice, and I am a licensed health and life insurance broker, paralegal, and your wealth architect. And I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to grow, protect, and secure their finances and build a financial legacy that they can be proud of. All right. And so let's jump into it. So, budgeting and allocation. These are two financial strategies that are often used interchangeably, but they serve different purposes. Okay. Now, budgeting is great for controlling expenses, but allocation is the game changer, it's the secret sauce that you need to actually grow your money, to actually grow your money. Now, if you want your money to work as hard as you do, or if you don't work hard, but you want your money to work hard, then it's crucial to understand the difference between allocation and budgeting. Okay. So let me ask you this. If you are a budgeter, okay, and if you're doing it and if it's, been effective for you, are you seeing the wealth building results that you are expecting? Okay. Let me know in the comments how budgeting has worked out for you, as far as you building wealth. Okay. All right. So first, I want to talk about what is budgeting, okay? Which I think we all know that budgeting is the process of planning and controlling your income and expenses to ensure that you don't overspend, okay? Um, and some common methods of budgeting out there are the 75-15-10 rule. There's also the 50-30-20 rule. And this is where 75 or 50% goes towards your expenses. Um, Now, in the 50-30-20 rule, 30% the 30% goes towards your wants, whereas in the 75-15-10 rule, 15 goes towards investing, and then 20 or 10 goes towards savings. Okay. Now, then there's also the zero based budgeting, which is where every single dollar that comes in is accounted for so that it's, all broken down to zero. And then there's the envelope system, which is that's something that I see really big on a lot of the budgeting channels, where every dollar received is portioned out into envelopes for different things, and then you just use you don't go past what's in the envelopes. And I even tried that back in 2016, 2017, when I was married. Me and my ex-husband, we tried the envelope system, and it worked for quite a while. It did work until it didn't work. But that one worked. Of all of them, I think that one probably worked the best that I've tried. Okay. So, budgeting is mainly focused on limiting your expenditures to keep you financially stable. So, this is where you will hear, gurus like Dave Ramsey. He talks about, cutting out the daily $6. I can't even say $5 because of what it is, like almost $6 for a tall Starbucks uh, macchiato. That's what I get. Well, I get the grande, but still, the tall size is like almost $6. And he's like, cut that out, cut out eating out. Um, and not saying that budgeting is bad. It's not bad, per se, if you are trying to get yourself financially stable. Okay. Now, the pros to budgeting is control and discipline, and it helps you to control your spending and build financial discipline if you need financial discipline. And then short term financial stability, and it's great for helping you to avoid debt and meeting your monthly financial obligations. Okay. And so if you feel like money just slips through your hands, then budgeting can help you to gain control of your finances. Okay. Now, the cons to budgeting are limited wealth growth. So it doesn't help you to grow your wealth. It is really about maintaining your income, limiting what is spent so that your income lasts throughout the month. Okay. And so it does help you from overspending if you have an overspending problem, but it doesn't help your money grow beyond saving. So budgeting does not help you to build wealth. Okay. And if you talk to any wealthy individuals, they're not going to talk to you about budgeting. Okay. And so, if you're new to budgeting, or if you are wanting to, um, if you're new to budgeting, or if you're wanting, maybe you need to get a handle on your finances, then uh, you can try the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of it goes for needs. But in today's economy, with everything going up and the tariffs, like, going here, there, and everywhere, I don't know if you've been following, but the tariffs had got struck down by a lower court. They said no, President Trump he couldn't do that. And then another court, the appellate court, said, go ahead, it's fine. So, with all the uncertainty in the economy, you may want to allot 75% of your monthly income towards your household bills and needs. And then 30%, and then 15% goes towards investing, and then 10% for savings. Okay. um, but you will figure, that's one you can try, or the envelope strategy. Like I said, the envelope strategy worked. It worked pretty well for me back in 2016-17 when I was doing it. It worked pretty well for me. And so those are two things you can try. Now, how you keep tabs of everything. Some people write it down on paper, some people do it digitally. But if you are having issues with managing your money, or you're just wanting a way to manage your money, then I have a money management toolkit that can help you to get more in control of your finances. And it's a comprehensive toolkit that empowers you to take control of your finances with ease. And it comes with a money management template, which is an easy to use spreadsheet for tracking income and expenses. It also comes with the savings goal planner, which is a structured way for you to set and achieve your saving and investment targets. And then it also comes with the financial literacy guide, because if you have been following me, the channel, any amount of time, financial literacy is one of the main things that I preach here on this channel. And so the financial literacy guide, it gives you the fundamentals of personal finance to help you to strengthen your financial literacy. And so if you would like to get access to the toolkit, just comment toolkit in the comments here, and I will reply with the link. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about allocation. And before I get into that, if you are finding value in this content, then consider giving it a thumbs up. And that helps YouTube know that, hey, they like this content. Let me show it to more people. Okay. All right. So now let's get into allocation. Okay. Now, allocation is different from budgeting. Okay. Allocation is the process of assigning your funds to different investments or financial goals to make your money work for you. Okay. Now you can also look at allocation as you are allocating your money, certain percentage of your money towards your household, and a certain percent towards uh, investing and towards savings. And you can have different buckets. Okay. Allocation is more like a percentage versus budgeting is like straight strict dollar amounts. Okay. um, Now, when you are looking at asset allocation, okay, that you are looking at how you are going to distribute the money that you have set aside for investing, how you are going to distribute that across different assets. So how much you're going to put towards cash value life insurance, how much are you going to put towards say real estate or stocks. Okay. Or if you have a 401k or a Roth IRA, how much you're going to put towards that. Okay. Allocation is more about growing your wealth over time and not just controlling expenses. Okay. And so the pros to allocation is wealth growth. It helps you to diversify your financial portfolio and grows your money over time. Okay. It is also a long term financial strategy. And so it is focused on building and maintaining your wealth over the long haul. Okay. It's not just about making sure you have enough to last throughout the month. Okay. And so, unlike budgeting, where the goal is to restrict spending, allocation's goal is to make sure that your money grows through strategic investment. Okay. Now, the cons of allocation, when it comes to investing, is it requires knowledge and risk tolerance. Okay. So when you're allocating your funds into investments, it requires an understanding of risk and knowledge of the different financial markets or the different financial products that you are allocating those funds for or to. Okay. And so, and not just the risk tolerance of the products that you are getting into, but also your own risk tolerance, right? Because I see it all the time. Everybody touts that investing in stocks is the greatest way to grow your money, and I'm not refuting that. However, if you are not somebody who has a high risk tolerance, if your risk tolerance is very low, then you may not want to start out with stocks. You may want to start with something like Index Universal Life, where it is not linked. It is linked to an index. It is not directly in the stock market. And by it not being directly in the stock market, your money is safer. It's growing, it's still growing, but it's safe from direct market activity. Okay. And so you have to really know and understand your personal risk tolerance before you just are jumping into jumping into stocks thinking that, want to grow my wealth, and then the stocks take hit a tank, they tank, and then you're freaking out, right? Especially with the climate, the financial climate that we're having here. It's like anytime Trump says something, you don't know if the stock's going to go up, down, around. And so if you don't have a high risk tolerance, then you are going to lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't have somebody who can advise you properly on stocks. So you have to know your risk tolerance before you just start throwing your money in the stock market. Okay. All right. And so a tip for you when it comes to allocation is to, look into some ways that you can allocate your money to grow, whether that be in cash value life insurance, whether it is into real estate, whether it is into stocks. You want to look at these different ways that you can grow your money and become educated before you just start throwing your money into something. You need to get very, very educated on what it is that you are wanting to put your money into. Now, if you are looking to get into cash value life insurance like index universal life, then here on my channel, I have quite a few videos that talks about it, or you can book a one-on-one consultation with me to get more information about that. Okay. But if it's real estate that you're wanting to look into, look into it, get more information. It's not just about purchasing a property. Okay. You really want to be diligent and know and have the knowledge about what you're investing into so that you are actually growing your money and not just throwing like spaghetti on the wall and hoping that something sticks. Okay. All right. So let's compare. Let's talk about budgeting versus allocation. Okay. So budgeting focuses on managing cash flow and preventing overspending, whereas allocation focuses on directing your funds into investments to build wealth over time. Okay. Now, because money is energy, I have to touch on the energetic vibe of each of the words. Okay. Budgeting has a very restricting and limiting feeling. Okay. There's only so much that I have, and I have to make it last until more comes. And so it's based on managing a set amount, and there is no feeling of growth. Okay. It's very restrictive. Whereas allocation feels less restrictive and more freeing because you are choosing where you want your money to flow and grow. So even when you are talking about your finances, well, when I personally am talking about my finances, I don't talk about budgeting because it is very restrictive. And if you think about it, money is like, listen to it when you say cash flow, right? Money flow. Water flows. Okay. It flows. Allocation is more of a flow. Budgeting is more restrictive. Okay. So even the word budget, it has a very restrictive tone to it. And I'm not saying that nothing's wrong with budgeting if you want to budget. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you shift your perspective and your thought about how you think about money or how you are managing your money, I would just say I allocate my money. I don't budget my money because I don't want to restrict my money. I want my money to flow. Okay. All right. So, budgeting is great for short-term financial stability. So if you need to get some stability within your finances, then budgeting is a great short-term strategy. And it's also good for helping you to manage your debt. Okay. But once you've managed your debt and you've gotten yourself to a place of, stability, then you want to switch and look into and really start focusing on allocating your money because that is crucial for long-term wealth creation through investing. Okay. All right, so here's a couple of things, scenarios I'm going to give you for you to think about, just so you can kind of see the difference, right? So when people budget, right? A person who budgets effectively but only saves their money in a low interest savings account, they may be financially stable, but they're not growing their wealth. Okay. They have money available probably for emergencies or something like that, or they might be saving for a vacation, but they're not growing their wealth. Versus when you have a person who they may have been budgeting and now they're starting to allocate their money into different diverse investments like stocks and real estate and cash value life insurance. Over time their wealth is growing, right? So which person are you? Are you the one that just budgets and saves but isn't seeing a whole lot of growth? Or are you the person that allocates and you are growing your wealth over time? Okay. All right. So I want you to think about, how are you currently managing your money? And if you are just budgeting, are you putting the money that you are saving to work for you, or are you just saving it in a savings account? Okay. Um, all right. So, which one is best for growing wealth? Well, I think I already answered that. Allocation is key for growing your wealth because, again, budgeting is essential for managing your finances. It doesn't directly contribute to growing your wealth. And asset allocation is crucial for growing wealth long term, as it allows you to leverage investments, compound interest, which is super important. I did a whole video talking about compound interest, and how important it is to take advantage of compound interest as early as possible, sooner than later. Okay. And then to diversify your risk. Okay. Now, both strategies work together, and I'm not saying that, budgeting is not a good thing. Okay. However, you don't want to just try to depend on budgeting when it comes to growing wealth, because you're just going to be spinning yourself in a loop and you're not going to be growing your wealth. You are just going to be saving. Okay. You're going to be making sure your money lasts, that you're not, you're managing your debt, but it isn't going to be growing your money. Okay. A balanced approach is where you budget to get your debt under control, to get your finances under control, and then allocate your savings to wealth building investments. Okay. All righty. And so that is what I have for you today. And so if you found value in this video, I so do appreciate you watching. Please do give it a thumbs up, because my goal is to always provide practical, actionable financial advice to help you to take control of your finances and your future. Now, if you would like to book a consultation with me to discuss insurance, retirement, or estate planning needs, then you can do so using the description in the link in the description of this video, or on the channel homepage. You can click on the link there. Now, also, if this live helped you out, then give it a thumbs up, so that YouTube knows, hey, they like this content, and also share it out with someone else who also could use this info. And then subscribe so that you get notified every time I upload new content to the channel, and make sure you click the bell so you get notified. Okay. Now let me know what is one action step. I gave a few action steps. What is one action step that you will take first? Okay. Now, again, if you would like to get access to the toolkit, you can just comment toolkit and I will reply with the link. Okay. All righty. And so remember, the way to secure your financial future is to protect it now, because no one is coming to save you tomorrow. All right. Have a good one.